All right, so there's no one in the waiting room yet, so I think we'll just get started on like a few items and we can go from there once others join. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean, if they come, I can just like have them to stay like a bit after class so we can review some. So I think since no one else is coming to the meeting, I think we can get started. So let's see this. Okay. So were there any models in particular that you were interested in doing, or?
well, I'm Jewish and I like that Jewish star, and I probably would be the only Jewish person here. So if you want to do that before the others come, is
Sure.
that is that very involved?
So this one it's more of like repetition, but I think you've grown accustomed to that, especially with the 15 roses that you've done after last class. But so this one's just so this is just like six of these kind of put together. We can definitely, if you would like, we can definitely do this one first. It's making the pieces themselves aren't that difficult, but I think it's just assembling them all at the end. So we're just gonna be making this 6 times.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm just gonna check again. Yeah, there's no one in the waiting room, so we can get started on this, and I'll check in throughout the meeting to see if anyone else is coming in. So the first thing is that we're just gonna get 6 pieces of paper. You can either do like alternating like I did, or you can do like a rainbow one. I think I've also done that before, but it's up to you. So we can get 6 pieces of paper, and then we can get started. So the first step is, well, so I'm just going to pick out one, but the first step is we're going to get our right side to touch the left side.
Okay.
This. Once you do that, we're going to open it up like this, and then for this next fold that we're going to do, it's going to be a little bit more of a guessing in terms of how exactly we're going to fold it, but we're going to get this bottom right corner, and we're going to move it about 2/3 up the page, so right here. And when we fold, we want to make sure that it goes all the way to this bottom left. So I'm going to keep moving it up and down until the fold I have goes straight to that corner. So when I have that, I can fold across the entire thing. So just to show you one more time.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, you have the fold?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there. And then like over the next six times we do this, it'll be a lot easier to like figure out.
Yeah.
Exactly it is. All right. So then the next step is we're going to open it up. And now we're going to redo that first fold we did, because since it's overlapping, it's going to get like a little difficult to kind of fold it a little later. So we can do that. Open it up again, and then redo the fold. So we have this again. And now we're going to fold it in half again. So we're going to get this right side to touch the left side. So we're basically just using that fold that we reinforced earlier. Okay. And then once we do that, we're going to flip this over so that this point is at the top left. And we're going to fold along this line. So when you fold it, it should look symmetrical on both sides. Like that. Now both sides are the same. Now we're going to open it up like this. And we're going to get this side on the right to go to the top right, like this.
Wait, I did something wrong.
Oh.
Okay. Where you folded down Oh, okay, I got it, I got it.
Okay, so you have what I have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get this side on the right to touch the top. Just like that. And there should be like nothing in the background, so. And once we do that, we are going to get this point on the right to touch this point on the left. So now we should have this shape. And once we do that, we're going to flip it over to
Okay,
this
wait a
side.
minute.
Oops, sorry.
The point on the right. Can I see that again, please?
Sure. So we folded this piece up. And now we just want to get this point on the right to touch this point on the left.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
Folding in. And now we're going to flip it over to the other side. And
Okay.
sorry. Were you gonna say something? I heard.
No, no, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay. I just want to make sure. So now that we have, so we're going to make sure that we have this point in the bottom right. So here it's like straight. Here we have a point, and we're going to get this one flap from the top to touch the bottom, like this. And now we're going to flip it over to the other side. And you should see that when you flip it over, there's like this tab sticking out and there's a line in the middle here. So basically what we want to do is we just want to tuck this tab into here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold on this line like this.
Okay.
And so now it should just be folding on top. And now we're just going to tuck it in by using our thumb to open this a little bit and then just sliding it in with our other hand. So ultimately you should have this. And so do you have this, or would you like me to, do you have the shape, or would you like me to try?
I have it, but I'm not sure I have the whole thing. I have like one side, the other side doesn't look right for some reason.
So the other side should have like a line going down the middle. One side should have a line going down.
Yeah, and it doesn't, so I missed something.
Oh,
Okay.
that's okay. I mean, since there's gonna be a lot more of these, like we're gonna be making a lot more.
Okay.
We'll just be like progressively getting better and better at doing it.
Okay.
So, nothing to worry with that. So, so we're just gonna try what we're gonna try
Whatever.
piece. And this, if it looks the same as the first one, we can definitely take a look at it. But I think you'll be able to get the right piece this time.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing that we did last time. Get the right side to touch the left.
Okay.
Fold in half. And then we're going to open it up like this. So you have a line going down from top to the bottom. Get this point in the bottom right about an inch from the top. That's how far I had. That's about the sweet spot for my paper.
Yep.
That. Fold across bottom. And now we're just going to get the right side to touch the left side.
Okay.
And now we're going to flip it over and orient it so that we have this point at the top left. And we're going to fold on this line. So just going to pull it down like that and fold. Okay. So once we have that, we're going to open up like a book. And we're going to get this side on the right to touch this top right area. Like that. Then fold along the bottom. And then we're going to get this right point to touch the left side. This left point here. So just like that. And now we're going to flip it over to the other side. And we're going
Okay,
to
I think I missed that one. The
oh
left point,
let's see. Okay, so we have like this shape, and we're going to get oh wait, sorry, I went too far. So so do you have this shape, or do you have
yeah, I have that shape. Yeah,
Okay.
and then I folded that up.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
like that? And do you have it going past, like this crease going past the
Yeah,
middle?
yeah,
Okay.
it looks exactly like that, yeah.
All right,
Okay,
great.
now the left point,
Oh, so we're gonna get the right
the
right
right
point
okay.
to touch the left point. Like that.
Oh, okay, I touched the wrong point. That was the problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That would be a
Okay,
little,
got it, got it.
all right. So now we're going to flip it over,
Okay,
and we're going to turn it so that we have this point bulging out at the bottom right. So at the top it's smooth, have the bulge, and we're going to get this top. We're going to get one flap from the top to touch the bottom,
okay,
like this, and then just fold down the middle. And then we're going to flip it over to the other side, and then just turn it so you have this line going down the middle.
okay,
And before we tuck it in, we're just going to fold it on the outside so that we can get that crease pretty well done. And then we're just going to stick it in side.
okay.
So now you should have piece. And so does now this time, does it look like mine?
Yes,
Okay, great. So we can do like one extra one at the end after we do the other ones to make up for the first one.
okay.
So
Yeah, I think I just held it in the wrong direction.
right, yeah, it's very confusing, especially for this one because there's a lot.
Okay, got that.
Yep. So now we're gonna try our third one. So same initial instruction. So fold in half. Open it up and then get the bottom right. Touch about an inch from the top.
Okay,
Then we're going to fold it in half. So right side touching the left side.
okay,
And flip it over and turn it so that we have this point at the top left. And we're just going to fold so that this side touches this side here.
okay,
And we're going to open it up, the book, and get this edge to touch the top.
okay.
And now we're going to get the right side to touch the left side.
Okay,
And then we're going to flip it over and turn it so you have that bulge in the bottom right. And get this top part to fold down. And only one tab.
okay,
And then we're going to flip it over to the other side. Fold on the outside first. And then tuck it in.
okay.
It should be 2 good ones, so we're 1/3 there.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll get an extra blue. And then let's get started on this third one.
Okay,
Like this, fold in half. Flip it over. Pointing up. Fold to the bottom right.
okay,
Open it up. Get this side to touch top right. And then get the right side to touch the left side.
okay,
And then we're going to flip it over and turn it like this. Pick up the first tab, pull down. Flip it over, and then outside tucking.
okay. Well, no one else is coming yet?
Yeah, so far in the waiting room, there's no one yet.
Wow, I feel bad.
Don't worry, it's fine. I think they might have gone the time wrong or something. I'm not sure because yeah, there were a lot of people who registered, so we'll see. So I'll get started on the first reading. Fold it up.
Okay,
And then right side to the left side. Flip it over so the point's facing up. And then get this side to touch the bottom right.
okay,
Open it up. And get the right side to touch the top. And then get the right side to touch the left side. So 2 points touch.
okay,
And then flip over to the back. First tab down. Flip
Okay.
over, and then we're going to tuck it in. Now we should only have 2 more left.
okay. We're making progress.
Yep, definitely. So I just want to make sure the microphone is working. So then bottom right to the top middle. There we go. Fold in half to right side to left side. Then flip over, so it's on top. Fold the right side, fold it to the right side.
Okay.
We're going to open it up and get the right side to touch the top. Then right side to touch the left side. Flip it over and turn it. Fold this down. And then flip over, and then we're going to just tuck it in. Okay, so
Okay.
that we're going to start the last one. So we're going to get the right hand side to touch the left side. I'm going to open it up and get the bottom right to touch around here on the paper, so towards the top. And then we're going to get the right side to touch the left side. And now we're going to flip this piece of paper over to the other side, get the top right side to touch the bottom right, or the middle right edge. That. Hold. Open it up. This and get the right side to touch this top part here. And now we're going to get the right point to touch the left point. Okay. So now we're going to flip it over and turn it so that we have this little bulge sticking out. Here. We're going to get the top to touch the bottom. That. Going to flip it over and just tuck it in. So fold it over, tuck it. Okay, so now we should have 6 of them.
Yep. Okay.
So I'm going to be doing it like blue, green, blue, green. So I'm just going to order it based off of like what I have. So I'm going to pick up my first blue and my first green. And basically what I want to do is, you should see that there's like kind of like a V.
Yeah.
In the paper. So wherever this V is, I want this, like the point in front of the V always to be pointing to the right, and that'll make it much easier to like assemble it. And then for this, so if I have this point will always go into another V like this. Right? So it should kind of look like a bow tie.
Yeah. Okay.
So like that.
Got it. Got it.
Then let's see. Actually, sorry, I got the two mixed up. So
Does look like a bow tie.
yeah, sorry, I got the first one wrong. So so actually, instead of having this V being towards the right, I need you to have this line, this
Okay.
long line, and this point to be going to the right, and then this goes into the V of the other piece.
Okay.
So it'll look pretty similar, but when
Yeah.
we assemble the entire thing, it will look a little different. So
Okay.
this line going left to right into that V.
Okay.
And then we're going to turn it so that this line is going from left to right. And we're going to pick up our next piece. So I'm going to do blue and green. So blue is my next piece. And I'm going to slide it in to the V here. Like that. And I'm just going to keep turning so that's horizontal.
Oh, it already has the shape.
Yeah, it's starting to get that shape that I had before I took off one of the pieces. So yeah, we're starting to have that shape already. So I'm just going to keep adding. So have that V, push it in. And then the hardest one is the last one. So horizontal, stick this one in. So if it helps, I would space out, I would like widen these other pieces so that you could fit the last one in. It's a little, might be a little hard to do without breaking it, or breaking the piece. So we're just going to get this piece, do the same thing that we've done with the other one. So horizontal line to this V, and then make sure that you bring this green one on top of your first one, and then very slowly kind of edge that in. And before you completely push it in, make sure that the rest of the rest of it's kind of maintaining its shape. So if you keep like pushing it around, you should be able to get that final shape.
Got it.
And if you like push in from the corners, you can get a better shape. Like generally, if you kind of push from like all sides,
Yeah.
you kind of get that hole in the middle smaller and smaller. So that is our first one, our first piece. And if you'd like to like keep it in it, like if you want to keep it from falling out, I would recommend like when you flip to the back, you should see that there are lines, like there's like a vertical line coming down from each of these pieces, and there's like a little tab from another triangle sticking out. So if you were to just tuck without doing what I just did, which was kind of like ruin the shape, but if you were to hold it and tuck that piece in for all six, it should hold its shape a lot better.
Very good.
So that's the first one we're making.
Good. Thank you.
No problem. So yep, and now it's a lot harder to pull it apart versus earlier where it would just fly out. I believe for this one we're going to be needing 3 pieces of paper. So just gonna pull that out, these out, and so at the end we will be needing glue, but the steps after we glue are going to be very simple. So I think instead of waiting for it to dry, I think if the class comes to an end, I think I'll leave the two of you off with the unglued things, and you can of course glue them together. And I'll show you how to do that at the end. So make sure my mic is all right, and then we can get started. Okay, so let's get started. So the first step is we are going to fold our pieces of paper in half. So we're just gonna get our right side to touch the left side. And once you do that, we're going to open it back up. And we're going to get this top part to touch the bottom. Like that. Okay, so when we open it up, we should have 4 squares. And now we're just going to be making 2 rectangles. So all we need to do is we're going to get our right side to touch this line running down the middle. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So let's get this side and make it touch the middle. Okay. And then the next step is we're going to get the bottom to touch the top. So we're just going to fold it in half this way. And once you do that, we're going to open it back up. So now we should have a line going through the middle. So once we have this, we're going to get this line at the top to fold to the middle. And we're going to get the bottom to touch the middle as well. So it should look like this. So once we have this box kind of shape, we're going to open it up. And we're going to get this side on the left, so but only these two, like these 2 squares, and we're going to make them touch these bottom 2 squares, like these lines to the squares. So it would just look like this. So we're going to fold it like this, and you'll see that this point from here touches this point. Now, that might be an easier way to visualize it. Just like that, fold. Then we're going to do the same thing the other way. So once we open it, we're going to get this, the point at the top right to touch the bottom left. Of course, if you like me to do a step one more time, feel free to just let me know. You hit the chat or just through unmuting. So once you have that, you can open it up, and you should have this shape. Okay, so the next step, you're going to get, so with these tabs, we're going to get this edge here to touch this edge here. So yeah, it helps. I can just get a marker here because it's might be a little hard. So this edge here to touch here. So like that. And then go all the way to the corner that we've just made at the top right. And then same thing to the left side. So get this point here to touch right there. And now if you look from the side, it kind of looks like a box, but we're going to flatten it. So if I get my hand and just move it down, you can see that it kind of flattens out into 2 triangles on the left and right, and then like a rectangle in the middle. So we just push down, fold, should get that shape. And then now we're just going to do the same thing on the bottom part. So we're going to turn it so it kind of looks like an upside down house, and we're going to get this point to touch the bottom right of this square, and we're going to do the same with this point like that, and we can crease to just reinforce it, and we're going to fold this down. So it should look like this. And then on the back, you should have a big square, and then 4 little triangles kind of sticking out.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to flip it back to where we just did those folds. And we're going to get this edge here to touch this line here. So we fold up, and it should be pretty easy to fold up because we've already done this fold before, but this is just to make sure we get in the right orientation. So, and I'm going to fold, get this point to touch here. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. So I'm just going to turn it over just to make it a little easier. Fold it like that. And this point to this point. Okay, so now we're going to kind of stick them up, make all four of these triangles that we've just made kind of stick up. So if you look on the side, kind of looks like that. So that's just by pushing up a little bit from the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our pointer finger and we're going to put it on this tip and bring it towards the center of our paper. So that's right there. So we pull it down. Ideally, the two sides will kind of separate from each other and you can push straight down to make a square. And we're going to do that for all four of them. So I'll just do it one more time so that you can see. So it's like that. Point your finger and push down. And we're just going to do that to all the others. And if it's easier, you can of course put your pointer finger, your other pointer finger inside so that it falls or folds properly. Okay, so do the two of you have what I have here?
Yep.
Okay, great. If you'd like me to redo that step, just feel free to let me know. So with that, we're going to focus just on this one I have on the top. And we're going to get this at this. So we're just going to focus on like kind of this rhombus we have here, like a diamond. And we're going to get this side to touch the middle. So I'm going to fold it like that. Jill, I might turn this light off because it's a little hard to see. There we go. So what I just did is I got this edge to touch the middle, and that just makes a smaller triangle. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the left side. Just get this to touch the middle. And we're going to do this for all four of them. Since I do it here.
Okay.
Okay, so after you do that, you should have this shape. And now we're going to open these up so that you can see the kind of like the rhombus or diamond again. We're going to pull up only the first flap. The first flap from the bottom. We're going to pull it up. And we're going to push these points in to the inside of our flower. That, or inside of our square. Then we can straighten it out the top. Swing down both sides. So here as well.
Yeah. One flap. That's a goof.
Is there a problem, or is it just like a small thing, the flap?
Could you do that again? Because mine is flapped over.
Oh, sure. So do you have, let's see. So do you have this?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to open these two up so we have like our diamond again.
Yeah.
And we're going to pull up only our first tab from the ball. It might be a little difficult because we
Okay.
so only pull up the first one. Pull it 3/4 the way up. So
Okay.
look at that. And I'm going to get that point on the right to touch the middle. Let's see if I can. So this point here
Yeah.
to touch right there. So in the middle center.
Okay.
So when I push it in, it should look like that.
Mhm.
Does that make sense, or are you?
So you're turning it like inside out?
Yeah. So I think it would kind of be pushing it in. But yeah, it's kind of like flipping it. if that-
Yeah, okay.
Yep, and then the same thing for the left side. So you should have like a rhombus afterwards.
What? I don't have that. Oh, man. She did that.
Okay, got
Okay.
it.
So, and then we're just going to do this for the other four. So we're going to turn it to this side, open our two flaps we made earlier, and we're only going to pull up our first tab like that. And we're going to pull it up like 3/4 the way to the top of our square here and push these points in on both sides. And if you need to, you can, of course, like pinch as you get closer to the top here. Same thing on the left side. And then fold that down. So now we have two of these rhombuses sticking out.
Mhm.
And then we're going to do the same thing for these last two. So open it up. Flap,
Mhm.
tuck it in. And fold down. Not inwards, but just down. Okay. Then last one. So open it up. Push in on both sides. And push down. So the two of you just let me know when you're ready, or if you'd like me to redo a step, because I'd be happy to do that. And then we can move on to the kind of like the inside part. So for the next step, we're just going to get these sides on the right. So this edge of this rhombus, and we're just going to fold it towards the center. So I'm gonna fold it and get this entire side to touch the middle like that. So we're just gonna make it we're at the same time we're making it thinner. So I'll just show you right side versus left. So right side is that, and that's without folding. So we're going to do this on all four sides.
That's what I see this at.
So when you're all done, you should have this shape. So before we had these larger diamonds, and now we just made them a little smaller. So it should look like that. Alright, so once we do that, we're going to flip it over onto this side. So this entire thing should be like there should be no folds on the back, and we're just going to fold this thing in half, like that. So fold in half like this, then undo it. And for this part, it'll be a lot easier if you pick it out from your table. Just to point it out. So then once you do that, we're going to be folding it from left to right. And you don't have to do like that strong of a crease, because this is just to make the next few creases a little easier. So you've done top to bottom, left to right, and now we're going to do both at the same time. So you should see that there are lines going to the edges here, and we're going to make all those edges touch. So if we get our like middle fingers and our thumbs and we keep them here, like in the middle of these lines, and just bring them together at the same time,
Mhm.
you can make it like that. So try that one more time. So middle finger and our thumb, bring it towards the center, then you have this. And then to make it more like make it a little more like a sunflower, especially like the petal part, we're going to just kind of bend this part out. But this is, so just kind of like, so the way I have it, they're like pointing out diagonally, but if you flatten it out, just by like giving a little pinch here and pulling down, it'll look a little better when we're finished. So that's how I had it kind of coming flat a little bit at the end. It's because I pulled it down like this. So this is 1/3 of the flour. So basically we're just gonna bushel this, kind of bunch this up. So this is going to be one part of it, and it'll look a lot better when we glue these together, because these flaps on the inside are going to like kind of stick out in like the way that we have it here. So this is going to be 1/3 of sunflower, so we're just going to leave that on the side, and we're going to get started on the next one. So I'm just going to wait a little bit just in case we're doing these last folds here, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so now we're going to get started on the second one. So we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. So get the right side to touch the left side. And we're going to open it up. This, we get the right side to touch the middle, and same thing with the left side. And then we get the bottom to touch the top. That. Fold. Then we're going to open it up. And we're going to get the bottom, the top and the bottom to touch this line in the middle. So start off at the top. Pull down and fold, pull down and fold. And then same thing with the bottom. So pull up. Fold here as well. Okay, so now that we have this kind of square looking thing, we're going to open up the top and the bottom fold that we just made, and we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. So we're going to get our, so if we imagine that this is this itself is its own box, we're going to get this top left corner of our box to touch the bottom right. This. Fold. And we're going to do the same thing with the opposite side. So open it up, and now we're going to get the top right to touch the bottom left. So once we're done, we can open it up. And we'll have this. So now we're going to get our top, like if we were to imagine in a box again, this top middle section, we're going to get this point to touch right here. So if we look at if we look at it as if it's an even smaller square, we're going to have this top left square part of the square to touch the bottom right. So like that, and then the same thing with this side. So this point here to the bottom left. And now we're going to fold everything down. Like that. So now we're going to try the same thing on the other side. So now it kind of looks like a little bit like a house. So we're going to turn it over. And we're going to get, if we imagine this as like its own little square, we're going to get the top left part of the square to touch the bottom right. That. The same thing for the left side. Fold down like this. Okay, so now we are going to get the, if we turn it so it looks kind of like a rotated hexagon, we're going to, if we look at it as square one more time, if we get this top left part to touch the bottom right of this little square here, we're just going to move this point from the top to the right. And then the same thing with the left. And if we turn it over to this side, we're going to do the same thing. So get this part, fold it over, and get this part and fold it over to the side. So now we should have our hexagon, but now in a different way. It should look the same, but we've obviously changed it since last time. So now we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. So we're just going to make all these points just stick straight up. So look like that from top, or like this from the side. And we're going to use our pointer finger to, we can either use one pointer finger or both pointer fingers. So we can just use one to push it down, but if it's not going, if it's going to the side a little bit, you can just use another one to kind of straighten it out. So that we fold it down, square. And then we do that for all three.
it. Okay.
So now we have this shape, and now we are going to do the same thing we did last time. So we're going to get, if we look at it, if we look only at the top rhombus like this, we're just going to get the bottom right to touch the middle and the bottom left side to touch the middle.
Right.
Like that. There. So when we get our edges, pull them in. Get those, and we're going to do that for all 4 of them.
Okay. Got it.
And now we are going to open all them up, open these flaps up, and we're going to open, pull up the first tab from the bottom. So once again, that might be a little tricky, but I'm just going to pull up the first one, open it 3/4 the way up. So about 3/4 to this edge here. And we're going to get this point here to touch the middle. We do it for both sides. And then fold it out. So now we have a rhombus, like that. Okay. And now we're just going to try this for the other 3.
This is what this way.
So pick up first tab. Fold these in. And fold out. Then the last one. So now we should have 4 rhombuses. And now we're going to fold these edges in one more time. So we're just going to get the edge and make it touch the middle.
This one is right. What? There. Okay, this one is right. This one is right.
Okay, so now we should have this shape. So we have these either diamonds or rhombuses kind of sticking out. And now we're just going to just do this assembly part that we did with the other one. So we're going to flip it over. We're going to fold it from bottom to top, and then right to left. And then we're going to do both at the same time. So using our thumbs and middle fingers, push them in like that. And ideally, once we assemble all these together, it'll kind of look like a bunch like that. And if you like pull these petals down, in the final product, you'll see that the insides of the flower will be much more spaced out, as I showed you with my demo model. So okay, so that's 2 of 3, and we're going to do one more. And before we end, I'll obviously show you just how to glue these together. So 2 down, 1 more left. All right, so first step, it's again right side, side. Open it up. Get the right and left hand sides to touch middle. And get the top to touch the bottom. Once you have, we're going to open it up, and we're going to get the top and the bottom to touch the middle. So I'll start off with the bottom. Then we'll do the same thing with the top. Okay, so once we unfold it, it should look like that. And we're going to get, so if we look at this like a medium-sized square, get the top left, touch the bottom right. And then we're going to do the same, and then we're going to open it up and do the same thing with this top right and this bottom left point, these points. So when you're done with that step, you should open it up and it'll look like this. And now if we look at the top, we're going to separate these into 4 of its own little squares here. And we're going to move this out, crease like that, and then the same thing with the left. So open this up and crease. And then we're going to get this top to touch the bottom of this rectangle that we've made. So like that. And then you'll have 2 little triangles kind of sticking out. If you need, you can sort of straighten them out like I am. Okay. So you should have that at the top. You do the same thing on the bottom. So turn to this side. Pull these out. And then pull the entire thing down. And now we're going to fold all 4 of these triangles either up, or in this this part of this triangle's case, we're going to fold it down. So just going to fold them either up or down, just a different direction than they were previously. And we're going to just push them so that it's sticking up. And we're going to pull all these points down to the middle. So you can use 1 or 2 pointer fingers. Do this to just make the squares. So we should have this, might be a familiar sight from the last 2 ones we made. And now we're going to do the folding routine for each of these individual squares. So we're going to get the right side to touch the middle, same thing with the left. And we're just going to do that for all 4 of our squares. Okay, so after our first run, it should look like this. And now we're just going to fold it so that we can make our rhombuses. So open them up, pick up our first tab, and then push these corners, these points inside. And the same thing for the rest. Okay. So after our second run, we should have this shape. And we're going to do the third one, which is just getting these edges and folding them inwards. So fold it in this. Same thing with this side.
What'd you do here? Uh-oh. Minus something.
So that's what you should have after our third run. And now we're going to just make it into the same shape as this. So we're going to flip it over. And just these don't have to be like really heavy creases. These can just be light. So bottom to top, open, right to left, open. And then using our middle finger and our thumbs, move them in. And then just move them all to one side if you want to. But it's also important to make sure you kind of bend these out so that you can have the insides look a little better. Okay. So the first thing the two of you should do is I want you to glue these parts together. So you can see, like, for this one, each of these little parts here are glued together so that they don't really move that much, apart from right there in the middle. And then the most important part is kind of just gluing them together. So I would recommend gluing them together right here, so right below the top, so that you don't kind of like squish it together. You don't like squish it together. So if you glue, let's see. So if you were to just place it like this and just push them together, if you should like hold it for like 10-15 seconds, and then after that you can kind of let go. It normally holds itself together, and then ultimately you'll have the entire flower like kind of bonded together, and then you should be all set for that. The only reason why I'm not doing it now is because it'll take like a really long time just to like get them and wait for it to dry. So I think that'll be it for today's class. Let me just change the camera over.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. I hope the two of you liked making the star and the sunflower. It was really fun doing this. I'm sorry I went over. It was I completely lost track of time when we were making the three sunflowers. So the three like individual sunflower parts. So I hope you liked it. And I think there's going to be an April themed one. I believe April 21st. I have to double check, but
Wow.
I'll just be on the lookout for that.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you
No
very
problem.
much for your time.